Hello, it's Lou Collins. Today I've got a card template for you. This is a circle card template and it's a bit of a take on a stepper card. So I'm going to be creating this large circle card and then I'm going to be decorating it using the Textures Deep Blue collection. So really fun collection, a nautical theme to that. So let's do the card template first of all. It's a nice easy one. It won't take long at all to put together. So we're just going to use spray adhesive on the back as always. Of course, there are other options of doing this, but I find this absolutely the easiest. And I'm going on to a white cardstock. Now, my white cardstock is around about 250, maybe even 280 GSM. It's one from my stash, so I can't tell you exactly, but it's quite a thick, heavyweight cardstock. And this is because it needs to be sort of construction weight, because I'm doing the card base with this. It needs to not be flimsy and fall around once I put the card together. So I'm going around the entire outer circle here. Now, if you have really large nesting dies, you could use that to cut through, but I'm quite happy using my scissors, large scissors. I wouldn't try this with small scissors to go around through the template and also through the cardstock underneath it as well. I'll just work my way around. There we go. Now, as I say, this is a nice, easy template. It doesn't take long at all to put together. That down there. So now we've got some score lines and some cut lines. So I've got here my Creative Craft Products trimmer, and I love this because we have both the cutting blade on it and the scoring blade. First thing I'm going to do is the cut line, and that's the solid line through here. So I'm going to line that up with the groove, the gap where my blades run. So putting that grey line through there. Then I'm going to lift this up slightly and just put it down where that is, and just see, don't go quite as far as you think you need to go, and then just edge your way to the edge of the line. So now we've got a cut line all the way through, and I'm going to turn this around. I'm going to leave the cutting blade at the top, and we're going to do some scoring instead. So again, make sure your line is nice and straight, because if this is a circle, we can't butt it up against the line here. So we need to just check, make sure that the line is straight through the gap within our rule there, and then I need to do my scoring. So just pressing down with the white blade and go over that a few times, and then I'm going to do the same with each of the other three lines. Now, the beauty of this particular template as well is that we've got different types of score lines, so different types of dotted lines for you, and these signify mountain folds and valley folds. So the mountain folds are the kind of dashed lines, and the actual dotted lines are going to be a valley fold. So nice and easy for you to remember that three of the lines are going to be the same direction, the same sort, and then one of the lines is going to fold in the opposite direction. There we go. Okay, so just check the reverse. Make sure all your score lines, where I can see them at least, are meeting each other. And you've got your cut line all the way to the end. So now we can remove this section, so this template, and that's because we've sprayed the template, it shouldn't leave any sticky residue on here. And pop that to the side. So now holding this, well, you can hold it either way, but it's actually better if you have the two smaller pieces. Let me show you on the template so you can see. So this smaller section here facing towards you, okay? So we're going to fold this right hand side, this centre line, I'm going to fold that. I'm going to fold the back piece as well. Now these are both mountains, you see they pop up, so you fold the two sides down. Now don't fold completely, because you need to work on this bit as well. Now, as I said, you've got dashed lines on the template, and these signify that they all go the same way. They're all mountain folds. So where you fold this one and this one into a mountain, you also want to do this bottom line here into a mountain. And then this line here, because it's a dotted line, it needs to be a valley fold. So it's going to fold in the opposite direction. And you'll soon see that your entire card base folds into a really fun shape. There we go. So that stands by itself, and it's kind of got this really nice. It doesn't any longer look like a circle, a circular card. But it's just got this really unique shape to it, but it's different. It's got the stepper in there as well, and you can of course turn this around if you want to keep the circular look. You could turn this round, and this will just act act as a stability base for you, and this be the front, but I quite like having that little stepper here. So popping this onto a piece of pattern paper, so let's use, I've got a few different colours here, let's use a nice deep colour. So this is from the Textures Deep Blue paper pack here, A4 sheets. You've got blues, greens and browns and beiges and oranges in there, all sort of nautical seaside colours, and I designed these myself by actually inking paper, splatting water on it, and then we got that scanned in and reproduced them as papers for you. So all that hard work of all the inking and things is done for you. So as I say, making sure I know which part is going to be the front of my card, I'm going to place my template with that sticky still on it onto my pattern paper, and then I'm just going to cut this out with a slight border around the edge. So I'm going to do that on this large section at the front here, which will be the front of my card. I'll just pop that there, and I will cut around the edge as well, and hopefully you can see I do just leave a little bit of a border. Okay, so I've just got a little bit of a white border. Then I also want to do it to this back piece as well. And again, making that ever so slightly smaller than it is. This creates a nice mat then. So there's my two blue mats, and I'm going to glue those on, just flat onto the card. It's actually quite a large card, so you need to have a look at your envelope situation and decide whether you've got a large enough envelope for this. If you find you don't, you can print the template off a little bit smaller, so you'll just need to go to your printer settings for that. So just popping that mat on there. Beautiful. Just making sure I've got a nice even border all the way around the edge. I'm using my Creative Craft Products glue. This is available at CraftStash. It's about £2.99 for a bottle. I really love it. It's actually one of my favourite glues now, not only for affordability, but it sticks well. The applicator's really good because it's got a spreader on one end and a fine tip on the other end. And yeah, it's just a really handy tool to have in my craft stash. No pun intended there at all. So just fold this back up and make sure I'm still happy with how this is looking. Absolutely. Might just shift that down. See, with the wet glue you've got the option of moving the layers just for a minute or two, not for long. Make sure that's nice and even. Lovely. Okay, so now I want to add some decoration to this, and I've got this wave die cut. Let me just take the top off so you can really clearly see it. And that's again from the Deep Blue collection. It's the Wave Crest panel die set. So I've cut this one out, but I'm thinking that it's going to need to go on backwards, which isn't an issue. I can do that. I'm just trying to work out the best way to do that because I want this to really sort of fill the space. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to glue it on and then turn it over and cut it out. I want to leave this wave poking up here, which will be really cool, but this bit can go. Okay, so I'm going to apply some glue to some areas here. I can add more glue in a little while. I just need to have it in place and secure for a bit before I start thinking about cutting any areas away. So a few little dabs of glue there. Turn the wave over and go back to as I just was, repositioning that, making sure that it's covering the area that I want it to cover. Okay, and as I say, I will add some more glue to that in a moment. Turn this over. I'm just going to cut around the base, so I'm going to bring the wave round here, and this is part of the reason I've used a white card base, because by using a white card base this kind of just blends then into it. Now I've got a feeling this bottom bit might want to come away, so let's be very gentle about cutting this off. Might want to add some more glue to that just while I'm here. Make sure that's sticking as well as possible. There we go. Give that a moment to grasp. While that's drying, I'm going to come down. I'm going to take away these areas and come down this edge too. Just down there. So making sure that's stuck. It can get a bit fiddly, but it's well worth it. Let's come across the top here. I'm cutting out this sort of little aperture, this stepper area here. Hopefully you'll see in a moment. There we go. That we've done, and I just need to finish up coming round here. So by cutting from the reverse, you can clearly see where the edge of the card base is without making any mistakes. There we go. So now I've got the wave panel fits beautifully on the top of that card. As I say, it can be a little bit fiddly. Do make sure you've really glued that down well. I'm just going to move this bottom bit slightly just so because it's separate from the rest. So just make sure that's where it needs to be. Okay, happy with that. A bit of trimming there. Just trim that little bit off. Neaten that up. Beautiful. Okay, so love that shape. Now I'm going to add in one more thing, and that's going to be the deep blue layering sea creatures die set. So in here there is a whale and a turtle, and they're really good sized dies, and they do layer up. You can see you've got all your pieces in there. So you've got the outline for the whale, and then you've got the detail, and the same for the turtle. You've got the outline for the turtle, and then you've got the shell detail that can all go on top. So now I've already put one of these together. So this is what I'm calling Wally the whale, and he is going to sit just beautifully inside there. Now I can have him on the front here. I could have him there. I could have him doing a bit of a somersault as well. That would be really good fun. Or I could just put him in here and then have I might do that actually. I might have him actually on the card base itself and then just have a sentiment. Now I've got lots of sentiment dies, and I've already got one ready. It says here, may your joy be as deep as the ocean. So that is embossed in white onto black cardstock. So I'm just going to put that onto there, and then I can position my whale. Yeah, I like him there. I think that's really good fun because the whale tail is then behind the spray of the water. So again, a little bit of glue on the back here. I've actually got some glue there where I put him on a project before and then changed my mind. So he can go there. There we go. Lovely. I think that's enough for that. Sometimes you can go a bit overboard with detail. We've got the really interesting card shape. We've got the whale, the wave, effect there as well. I think that's just really lovely. That suits that. The wave crest die really suits the shape of the card well. It's beautiful. So that is a downloadable template from Craft World. It's the circle card template, but it's actually a circle stepper. But you'll be able to find it under circle card template on Craft World. And if you pop along to the inspiration gallery, you'll be able to see more of what other people have created using this template.